Hi, and welcome to the first edition of Pointcast. It's CedarPoint.com's official video weblog. I'm Tony.
And that would make me Tyler. We're going to be here throughout the construction process of Maverick, going behind the scenes, getting interviews, trying to keep you updated on what's going on.
Speaking of interviews, Tyler, we have someone very important we're speaking with today. We're going to introduce you to Gary Gast. He's our Director of Maintenance and New Construction here at Cedar Point. Gary, how you doing?
Wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
Tell us a little bit about what you do here at Cedar Point.
Well, let's see. We take care of everything maintenance related to all rides and buildings and all new construction of rides and buildings.
Okay, Gary, you mentioned in your construction diary that installing the stators is going to be one of the most complex part of the ride. Now, the stators are actually going to help the train launch. Could you tell us what's involved in installing those?
Yes, that will help propel the train. We have to get them perfectly in alignment. And to do that, we're going to use a surveyor and a lot of machinists to accomplish that. That is a very important part of the ride, along with all the cabling that we have to run for the ride.
And speaking of more complicated parts about the ride itself is not just the track and structure that we see here. There's more complicated stuff to be installed as well. What else has to be done?
That is correct. We have to run power lines from the front of the park all the way around Perimeter Road and into the 2 electrical buildings that we have, into the 4 transformers that we have to run to the ride, and then, of course, up the lift and to all the stators that operate the ride.
I'm glad we're not doing that.
Yeah, we'll be on this side of everything.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll
Thanks,
see
Gary.
you again on another edition of Pointcast. More to come soon. That's Tyler.
That would be Tony, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the second edition of Pointcast, CedarPoint.com's video weblog. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler.
And you know what? We're giving you another Maverick construction update. We have to apologize for the lack of updates between September and now, but you know, with the park closing and all, we have lots and lots of things to do to get ready for the 2007 season. Speaking of which, obviously Maverick, the brand new roller coaster for next year. We're out here, we braved the cold, we braved the snow, because it snowed a little bit last night.
The wind.
Oh my gosh, and we're actually standing on one other side of an electrical building so we can keep the wind out of our face. So props to the construction guys who have to deal with this weather when it gets cold like this.
Yeah.
But right now, the big story is the electrical work. We're connecting the stators. Those are the motors that are actually going to propel the train forward through the 400-foot tunnel, the launch, the second launch, and up the lift hill at the beginning of the ride. Now, Tyler, we have Wicked Twister, which uses an LIM system, which is linear induction motors, and we have Maverick, which uses linear synchronous motors. And I'm not quite sure how that works, but I know you've been reading up on it and studying.
Yeah, without being too technical, they're propelled very similar but different. Wicked Twister has an aluminum fin on the train that passes through an electrical field, and that's what propels that. The Maverick trains are actually going to have magnets attached under the trains, and they'll be passing through this linear synchronous motor electrical current field, which is what's going to launch it up the hill and then also out the tunnel. So a little bit of a difference. They have different power requirements, but very similar in the way they work, both with electrical currents and magnetic fields.
And a lot of people didn't know this, Tyler, but actually you would think that Wicked Twister would use less power than Maverick does, but because of the efficiency of these motors on Maverick, it's a brand new LSM system, this ride's going to use less power than Wicked Twister.
Right, Wicked Twister that needs power in quick bursts to power all those motors, and this is a more consistent power consumption.
So why don't we take a quick look around the rest of the construction site and show you guys what's going on. Well, here we are on the Maverick Station platform, and as you can see, workers have completed the top of the elevator shaft. This is actually cosmetic. It's not going to serve any purpose, but it's made to look like the top of a water tower to go with the theming of Maverick.
Now over at the launch tunnel, what we're looking at now are the actual gray steel supports that are going to form the skeleton for the tunnel. There's going to be metal siding and then a roof placed on these steel supports.
And one of the coolest parts about this tunnel is if you look closely at the very end of the launch, that track is going to come really close to that frame, so you're actually going to be enclosed and you won't be able to see the other end of the tunnel, which is one of the great features about this ride, is those close calls. Now here at the end of the ride, you can see 2 different types of brake fins that are on the brake run. We have permanent brakes that do not move at all, which actually works to slow the train down, and there's also retractable brakes, just like on Top Thrill Dragster. Once you launch out of the 400-foot long tunnel, you're going to actually go over this big hill here, and a lot of people have asked us about the brake fins that are on this piece of track here before you dive towards the lagoon. Those brake fins are there, they're permanent, they don't retract, they're there to control the speed of the ride. We can add brake fins to it or take brake fins away depending on how the ride performs once we start testing.
Right, and then after you come down that hill, by the bridge, around the pond, you go into the 360-degree Heartline roll, my personal favorite.
Mine too.
Right, and then you're going to fly back over the tunnel, behind the lift, and you're heading back towards the station then, so it's going to be a great ride.
And hopefully the pond won't be frozen.
Yeah, it'll be a little warmer, we hope. Okay, here we are at the Maverick super secret train storage location.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a quick peek at the train. Shh, don't tell anybody we showed you this, but... Ooh. See? Wheels, train. We're going to show you a lot more, but we just can't do it right now because they're still covered up. But we'll show you in the next coming weeks. But it's cold, so we've got to go inside.
You want to go home?
Yeah, I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler.
And we'll see you on the next edition of Pointcast.
You found us again! Welcome to the third edition of Pointcast. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler.
And we're standing here on location right in the middle of Maverick's Twisted Horseshoe Roll.
Oh, isn't it exciting? We know the weather looks the same as it did last time we were here, but we promise you it's January. It's still freezing cold out here.
And Tyler, what are we doing out here today?
That's what we came to find out. We're actually in the first phase of testing. Tony, what's it called?
It's called the pull-through. And why do they call it a pull-through, you're asking?
Yeah, they're asking.
No, asking.
Oh, why do they call it a pull-through?
Well, it's really simple. The first phase of testing involves pulling this shortened train behind us, which is 2 cars, and it also has a big wooden plywood fan on it. Now, they pull the train through the track very, very, very slowly to make sure everything is aligned properly, and then if any adjustments need to be made before May 12th, they can make those now so that there isn't anything to worry about when we open.
Hey, that sounds like a great plan. I'm excited.
It is a great plan. The only problem is, Tyler, it goes really, really slow.
Right, and we don't plan on standing out here for the whole thing, but we want to bring you a little bit of it right now today.
And that's what's going on right here at the Twisted Horseshoe Roll. Let's take a look at the rest of the construction site and see what else is going on.
Right here near the station, you can see there's been quite a bit of progress since last time we were here. They're actually still running those electrical cables, making those connections.
And Tyler, if you look up above our heads, you can see inside the steel framework, there's some shiny aluminum looking type of metal that's set on top of that steel frame. Concrete is actually going to get poured on top of that, and that will become the station platform floor. So that's a pretty quick update here at the Maverick construction site. The reason why it's so short, of course, is because the stuff that they're doing right now is very difficult, very small. The wiring, the electrical connections, not very exciting to watch, but you know it's a huge job.
Not to mention, we're freezing cold out here. Speaking of the cold, we've just been out here for a few minutes, but these construction workers have been working all day and all the elements out here to get us this ride ready for opening day.
This is the most difficult part of the job, is being out here in the cold. And with that wind off the bay, it is freezing on days like today. But before we leave you, we're going to give you something you've all been waiting for. Here's your gratuitous train shot. Wow, wasn't that exciting?
I loved every second of it.
I've been waiting like 6 months for that.
I know. Okay, that's it from the Maverick construction site here in January. We'll see you later. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler, and we'll see you on the next edition of Pointcast. Bye. Welcome to the last edition of Pointcast for Maverick. I'm Tony.
And that would make me Tyler. We're sorry this took so long. I've really been working on my hair. Hope you like what I've done.
I told him 16 different times that his hair looked fine, but he had the one that held everything up, so thanks. Anyway, what we did was we went around and asked you what you thought of Maverick, but first of all, we're going to do a play-by-play of me riding the ride. I'll kind of guide you through how the ride works. Check it out.
All right, welcome to your first look at what it looks like to be a rider on our 17th roller coaster, Maverick. I'm Tony from On Point. Tyler's actually back there somewhere, but Tyler, say hi! He says hi from back there. So what we're going to do now is we're the second train in the station, so we've pulled up. We're kind of waiting for that first train to drop off the lift. It's going to run the course, do the airtime hill, the Twisted Horseshoe Roll. Once that train enters the tunnel and is actually cleared and launched right out, then we'll be cleared for takeoff. Airtime hill, twisted horseshoe roll right now. I know you can't see it, but just bear with me. Okay, second half of the horseshoe roll. Okay, and now we're moving forward. Hang on, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to try to talk through this so you can kind of see what the ride's all about. Okay, we've hit the LSM Stators. We're going up the 105-foot-tall lift hill. Beautiful view of the park and the city of Sandusky. We're at the top of the hill, the 95-degree drop, and in we go. A turn to the right, into the canyon to the left, and another turn to the right. Here comes the airtime hill. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's awesome. Another turn to the right, into the twisted horseshoe roll. One half of it. Here comes the second half. All right. That's the horseshoe roll. Now we're going into the tunnel. Train slows down. We got some special effects. In this case, we're pausing for a slight second. We're moving forward a little bit. Okay, here we go. Hang on. 70 miles an hour, and here we go. Woo! Outside the tunnel and over the Swan Pond. Down we go. Water bombs going off as we pass. Overbank turn at 92 degrees. And another overbank turn. Another airtime hill. Woo! And the ride is finally over. That's a great ride.
All right, so that's what I thought of the ride and my little play-by-play. Now let's see what you thought of Maverick. Take a look. What you think of Maverick?
It was awesome, man. The first drop was crazy. I felt like you were coming out of your seat and you were falling out. I lost my voice on that ride.
Maverick was crazy, man. Right whenever you get off the drop, it feels like you're flying out of your seat.
I really enjoyed it, the twists and the turns and the first hill. The first hill is totally cool.
What was your favorite part of the ride?
When we dropped, it was fun. Yeah. When we went down.
It's the best we've got on. It is awesome.
You get in the tunnel, you think you're about to stop. Right when you're about to think about your stop, going straight again.
It feels like you're out of your seat and you're about to fly off.
I thought it was the best ride here.
All the corkscrews were awesome.
Yeah, it was the best. We went to the cave. It was
Maverick is number
amazing.
It was one of the best rides here.
Boy, Tony, it really looked like they were having fun. That's kind of a shame I didn't get the ride.
I'm sorry you didn't. But you know what? You can have your chance along with all of you. Come on out here this summer and check out Maverick, Cedar Point 17th roller coaster. Thanks for bearing with us throughout the construction project. We're going to wrap things up for here, but we're going to do more point casts coming up in the future, so stick around. I'm Tony.
I'm Tyler. That's it from Maverick. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.